Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Aussie StarCraft, and we are casting some of the amazing games that took place during the IEM World Championships just a few weeks ago. Here in the top central location on Polar Night, one of the only players to qualify for this competition by winning not one, but two IEM tournaments throughout last year, it is going to be CJ Entus herO. As his opponent in the bottom location, playing for his new team Rocket, it's going to be Hyun. Now Hyun may seem a little outgunned facing a two-time IEM champion, but for those of you who aren't familiar with Hyun, he did have quite a season last year. He has had quite a successful run in a number of tournaments, both online and major tournaments that were held. Hyun's actually quite well known for being one of the more successful players in the IPL Fight Club. I think he won it an insane 12 or 13 times in a row, which is pretty impressive in and of itself, not to mention the 2 all kills that he picked up during the Home Story Cup last year, the Team Story Cup. So managed to all kill 2 teams during that. So Hyun well known as one of the great Zerg players, and certainly his aggressive playstyle is quite appreciated and loved by all. So excited to see these two go toe to toe. It's going to be a Protoss vs Zerg matchup here on Polar Night. One of the reasons I love this map is quite close, the distance between the two bases. Players tend to go for a slightly more aggressive opening than they would otherwise on some of the larger maps. For example, the map pool at the moment with maps like Altazim, Stronghold and Frost are quite large maps that you tend to see longer macro games on, whereas a game like Polar Night, it's quite easy for the Protoss to execute very tight timing attacks, making for quite dynamic opening. So we'll see what these two players have in store for us. The fact that Hyun's opening with a spawning pool first is quite exciting in and of itself. I imagine we'll be seeing Hyun get to business straight off the bat. Early scout from herO here, and we can see that herO himself has gone for a Forge Fast expand, so not as common as the Gateway expand that we've been seeing an awful lot of. So curious to see where herO goes for this, but most sort of timing attacks you would expect to be based off a Gateway expand, so any timing attack will hit slightly later, but the potential for quite quick upgrades here from herO is an obvious given from the presence of this forge. We're going to be seeing the pair of assimilators go down together. 4 minutes, a little bit later than usual, again due to the fact that the gateway is trailing, so it's not quite as necessary for things like the cyber for the mothership core and warp gate research. Can afford to come down a little bit later. Hyun got a pair of overlords, so he's well and truly aware of what's going on at this expansion. In response to seeing the Forge Fast expand, Hyun has thrown down his 3rd base, so has the potential to go for quite a macro style of players. He knows he does have a fair few minutes of ability to sim up before any substantial Protoss timing can hit him, and we see the cybernetics core coming down now for herO, as well as a constant stream of probes here. So herO establishing for himself quite a strong economic opening, and being mimicked by Hyun, who's now injecting with a pair of queens and starting to produce a steady group of drones of his own. As we can see, 27 to 29 workers, not a huge differential here, and both players electing for a slightly more passive opening than we're used to, particularly out of these two players. We've seen herO execute timing build after timing build in this tournament. It was some of the precision play. For those of you who saw it live, I know you'll be able to appreciate just some of the amazing builds that came out of herO during the tournament. And for those of you who haven't seen this game, I don't recall actually seeing this game live, but on popular opinion and a suggestion of a few of our viewers, decided I would cast it for you, and excited to see just what herO decides to pull out. Has a lot of options. Polar Night is very popular with Blink Stalkers. Obviously this large main base does allow for quite extensive warp-in shenanigans, though the 3rd base, the fact that it can be attacked from either this ramp and you can threaten either base, making defending quite difficult. Likewise, you can attack from the high ground here, or even just consistent warp-ins that run down the side of the map can make it very difficult to hold a third base for either player. There is this safer location behind behind the main and natural, but the fact that you have to demolish a set of rocks to take it and a set of rocks to actually get there to defend it make it particularly unpopular, especially for Zerg players who really struggle to have those early Zerglings. Taking out 2 sets of rock does delay it substantially. We can see herO here actually already got his Stalkers on patrol, meaning he wants to keep this tech that he's throwing up quite hidden from Hyun. We can see 3 gateways going up and a Twilight Council, so wouldn't be surprised at all to see some sort of blink play as herO's elected mode of play here, though we do have 2 sentries already on the field and 2 immortals, so it's a bit of an interesting choice to see the Twilight as well. It's unlikely to be a straight sentry immortal all in. It could well be some sort of sentry immortal push followed up by some blink stalkers in a couple of minutes, but interesting sort of hybrid build out of herO here, and we'll see just how he plans to play it, trying to take out this Overlord, but the Overlord is going to get a complete idea of what's going on, although this is a little bit dangerous for Hyun. If we check out Hyun's vision, we can see that Hyun is aware of the Twilight but is not aware of the Robo, so entirely possible that that this Twilight that Hyun will be expecting the blink stalkers but not expecting the immortals. Unfortunately for herO, his immortals were caught here on the low ground by these Zerglings. Zerglings doing a lot of damage to the sentries, almost able to take out one of these immortals here. Unfortunately for Hyun, those Zerglings not quite able to do the job, though did manage to soak up a stack of energy from those force fields, and that's going to delay herO moving out here. He's not going to want to move out onto the map with immortals that already have their shields down, so we'll see just what it goes for. And herO actually managing to force the cancel on the 3rd base. That's a great move for Hyun. Certainly going to delay herO by several minutes here, and certainly stall herO's advance across the map, though we do have 2-2 actually being pushed out of the forge now, so it's going to be quite quick and a nice upgrade advantage. I don't believe we have any upgrades from Hyun as of yet. We can actually see it is still 0-0 on those Zerglings, though we do have a substantial number of Hydralisks on the way, along with the Hydralisk speed. So herO's 3rd base coming up now, but potential for a flood of Zerglings and Hydralisks to really put a little bit of a crimp on herO's potential for aggression here in the early game. These immortals would love to get something done, but Hydralisks find themselves to be almost the direct counter to the immortals, spitting out a massive amount of DPS in short but fast bursts, and we see the Hydralisks actually managing to snipe the mother ship core. And that's a massive deal. It means no photon overcharge here. Hyun can actually barrel into this expansion. We see the Zerglings getting this round on the Protoss units, no mothership core for a replay, and these Hydralisks are going to start doing massive damage to this force. We see a Colossus coming out just in the nick of time. It does manage to fry a bundle of the Hydralisks, but the Hydralisks are now able to move in on this force. This force already taken a lot of damage. We see 1 immortal has gone down, 2 without their shield, and Hyun just threatening this 3rd base. The cannon already going down. It's looking extremely dire for herO. Can he hold on here? We have the Colossus doing more damage at the top of the ramp. Unfortunately, it does get picked off by a Hydralisk, and what a snipe from that Hydralisk. He'll be a hero for the entire swarm here. We have the Immortals still managing to stay alive, both on red health. One goes down, the second one looks like it may fall here. More Zerglings running around to pin the Immortal in place, and the final Zergling does take it down. The Zealots have gone down as well. herO is starting to look in extremely dangerous circumstances here. This is 3rd base under siege. These 4 gateways are about to fall, meaning the production of herO is going to be substantially reduced. We have sentries here trying to protect the Colossus as it continues to fry Zergling after Zergling. Unfortunately, it can't fall back quickly enough, and it looks like the Colossus may indeed go down here. A warped in Zealot could save it, and it actually does. It does stay with 14 health and 21 kills. The herO Colossus manages to hold the line. Hyun continuing to try and send speedlings to harass this 3rd base, but it looks like herO may hold by the very skin of his teeth, and what a hold it was. And this is a big deal for herO. If he'd lost the production of these gateways and base, he'd be substantially behind Hyun. We see Hyun well saturated on 3 base at this point. The 2 base economy of herO is lagging behind, a position Protoss players are used to fighting in, but unfortunately when the cost efficiency is actually quite close together, can't afford to be trading even odds. So herO really needing to get some work done, moving out with these first few Colossus, and now that the Colossus are in play, Hyun actually in for a little bit of strife. He's electing to go for the base race rather than actually defend with these Hydralisks. We have Mutalisks coming up now as well. We have 11 in play, so nice tech switch from herO, we only have 7 Stalkers on the field, so potential for these Mutalisks to do massive damage, particularly any Mutalisk that Hyun can pump out between now and when the Spire falls to this base race. We see the Hydralisk managing to... oh, can they snipe this pylon? This pylon would be a beautiful choice from Hyun, sorry. He does in fact focus down the pylon, so the pylon's going to go down, unpowering those gateways, meaning that there can't be a lot of warp-ins. We see that Hyun has actually cleaned out the natural expansion as well. Probes falling back into the main, and it looks like a run by there as well as kill almost all of the workers of herO. 33 workers killed by Hyun. We can see herO similarly going to work on the mineral line of Hyun. A few Mutalisks breaking out there and making a run for it. Third base almost completely cleaned up. The real question is, what do players have left in this insane base race? We see the natural expansion, third base have almost fallen. We see pylons being established in the map but being cleaned up by Hyun Zerglings. We have one more pylon down here. That main nexus is about to fall. The question is, can you out base race a Protoss? These Colossi are just so scary in a base race scenario. It looks like herO may fall back to defend this. We saw herO base race so many times in this tournament, and each time, whether it was looking in his favour or not, he managed to pull things out by just out of nowhere to win insane base race scenarios. But it just looks like Hyun is in such a dominant position here. We have one assimilator and a pylon left on the bottom of the map. Oh no! Oh, we've skipped backward a moment. That's all right. We will. We will let it play out. We'll skip to the structures tab here. We have 3 assimilators, 5 pylons, and 2 gateways up against 3 extractors, a spawning pool, and a Hydralisk den. If we look at the units tab, there are 3 drones still here, and we see that Hyun can actually throw down hatcheries. So it's going to be quite difficult for herO to actually clean out these remaining structures. It looks like herO has actually managed to throw down a nexus of his own, so it's going to be the one probe of herO mining to the 3 workers of Hyun, and we see that herO's actually spotted Hyun's expansion here. A nice hallucinated Phoenix there will allow him to see exactly what's going on. But these Mutalisks just such a threat, particularly in this sort of limited resource scenario. The fast healing of the Mutalisks is just insanely powerful. So we can see that the Zergling is trying to clean up this Zealot before he can kill the spawning pool. Unfortunately, the Zealot does go down, but those 2 assimilators remain up, along with a 3rd in the expansion. Unfortunately, this Hydralisk den will start bleeding out now that it's off creep. And we see herO just pinned here in the corner of the map. We have Hyun continuing to scout him with changelings, but it's just going to be so difficult for herO to move out. He'd love to take a shot at this hatchery now that Hyun is actually able to mine off this. Is Hyun not supply blocked at all? Can start building drones. herO knows he does have to move out. The creep here actually providing a lot of vision for herO. Hyun continuing to spread that. herO unfortunately unable to clear it up. He's got literally no detection on the field. We see the Mutalisks actually going straight for the nexus. herO's going to be forced to pull back with the Stalkers. The Colossi here are going to be left terribly exposed in the middle of the map. Stalkers managed to pick off a Mutalisk, but the Colossi very vulnerable in the middle of the map. Surprised to not see Hyun go for that. He does have sufficient DPS, I believe, to take it down. Is he just waiting for a better position? He has perfect vision on this creep. The Stalkers are moving around. They're making a beeline for this expansion. The race is on. Will Hyun be able to defend it in time? I think he may need to just clean up that nexus. The Zealots here being picked off, and they are picked off for free. One would argue that herO just can't afford to lose any more units. It is so close here. 2 Colossi, 4 Sentries, and 14 Stalkers. Oh, the Mutas are going to get a lot of damage off. Oh, they're almost able to kill that Colossus down to half shield and 14 health. There's our herO Colossus from earlier, now up to 33 kills. We see these units turn around. Needs to focus down the Colossi. One goes down, a second one goes down. The Sentries all now falling. It looks like this may be it. The Mutalisks are starting to dwindle down to 7. But excellent blink micro from herO. It looks like he may actually hold this. It's 5 Hydralisks and 3 Mutalisks. 9 Stalkers. Can he hold it? Looks like herO's micro may actually carry the day. And he's blinked forward on top of the Hydralisk. It's 6 Stalkers. He manages to hold it. herO against all odds with 6 Stalkers. Are these 6 Stalkers going to be the Stalkers that win him the game? It looks like there's only 3 workers here, and he may have done it with his final 6 Stalkers. herO out of nowhere to win this base race. Well, out of nowhere is perhaps not fair, but one would argue that Hyun had the advantage in that base race, but herO just so good at this critical thingy. 2 Hydralisks do pop out, but unfortunately the 5 Stalkers do manage to focus them down, and GG called by Hyun, and herO takes that base race by the narrowest margin. What a game. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm going to cast more of that this series. It is a best of 5 series, so plenty more where that came from. I hope you guys enjoy it. I certainly did. I think it came down to the decision making, those final moments. The Mutalisk gave Hyun a massive advantage, but unfortunately herO managed to bait him into the fight herperhaps a little too early. Perhaps while the Stalkers were separated, herO should have tried to pick him off with the Zerglings and Hydralisk. But herO just managing to do it here on Polar Night. And I'm not going to spoil the other game, but there was another amazing herO base race on a Polar Night map. So I'm not going to give away who was playing. We will be casting that game for certain later on. So stay tuned here at Aussie StarCraft. Looking forward to bringing you plenty more IEM action. If there's any preferences for replays, please continue sending them to aussiestarcraftreplays at gmail.com. Super excited to hear from you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and it's your first time on the channel, I'd love to see you here in the future. By all means, please subscribe, and we'll catch you all in the next cast. Thanks, guys.